Hi, I'm Karl Taylor, and I've got less than 10 minutes to convince you how good our pro training stuff really is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you through a professional level product shoot here and show you it all step by step, completely free, just to give you an insight onto our knowledge and what we can do for you. So let's take a look at the setup and we'll break it down, show you the lighting, show you how we make a shot like this work, and hopefully you'll be able to take away something from this that will give you a better insight into this type of photography, which is often considered quite difficult because liquids, bottles, glass, product photography can be quite a difficult shooting scenario. But I'm going to break it down into some simple step-by-step sequences for you. So let's take a look at the set. Okay, I've got a sheet of black perspex as my base, sometimes called acrylic, melamine, different things. It's a glossy black plastic basically. It's commonly used in product photography, a lot of jewelry photography, liquids, bottles. Here I'm using it because it gives a beautiful reflection of the product, gives a very classy look and classy feel to the product. I've got one light here at the moment which is just putting a light onto the label of the bottle. You can see the shadow from my fingers there on the bottle, and we'll come back to that in a little bit more detail shortly. On the background here, if you come around this side, I've got a light on my background which is creating a gentle glow. It looks quite harsh at the moment because the modeling light's on full power, but this is creating a gentle glow on the background just to give us a little bit of light above our horizon at the back edge of the picture. Okay, now my depth of field for this shot is only going to run the depth of the whiskey bottle to make sure the bottle and the label is sharp. I'm going to keep the glass out of focus. Now some other key things on the back here are some reflector cutout panels. If you have a look at these things, you can see I've got some bits of card, gold foil card, that I'm using carefully positioned behind the liquids to bounce the light from my main light sources over on this side through the liquids to give them a lovely rich glow to bring the product to life. Let's go back round the other side and take a look at the main lighting. So if we look on this side, you'll see I've got two soft boxes. I've got two thin strip light type soft boxes. One of them you can see here at the front is a little bit further away from my trace, and the other one is a little bit closer. Now the tracing paper is used to diffuse my soft boxes even further because I don't want to get a really harsh strip light on the bottle. I want a lovely graduated soft light. And the reason I've got two of these lights is so that I can get one light as an edge light down the bottle and one as a general light on the bottle. So what we're going to do is we're going to film through another camera to allow you to see what each light is doing on the bottle so you can fully understand the lighting setup that we've got here. We're also going to film the results of what those reflectors do that are behind the glass and the whiskey bottle so you can appreciate how important they are to the shot. And we are going to get a really stunning image out of this, and this setup will show you how easy it is. Now you might be thinking, oh actually I don't have necessarily this particular type of softbox here, I'm not using fancy studio lighting like this. Well, interestingly, these particular softboxes by Broncolor, these have a speed ring adapter, so you can even attach a strobe or normal flash gun to this type of softbox to shine it through. So you could create most of this setup even with pretty basic lighting. Oh, there's one other thing we need to look at. Just come around this side. You'll see as well as the two softboxes here, I've got this piece of black card. And if you have a look here, this black card is shielding this softbox so that I'm not getting any light spill from this softbox hitting my background, because if I take this away, you'll see when we look through the other camera the light that would hit the background and spoil the shot. So let's take a look at each of these lights and what each of them are doing. Okay, forgot to mention before about the ice in the glass. Fake ice, this is an acrylic ice cube. These are readily available from most studio suppliers. So I've got a couple of those fake ice cubes, obvious reason, doesn't melt, won't cause us any problems, stays where we need it to stay. So let's start looking at what's happening on this bottle. What I want to do is break it all down and then put it all back so you can see exactly what's going on. So Fabian is going to take these lights out. So what I'd like you to do, Fabian, is take the two soft boxes out completely. You can leave them switched on because we just need a bit of light so we can see what we're doing, but just take them out. Okay, so we're left now with a piece of trace, and you can see a light on the bottle. Now that light on the bottle is from this light that I spoke about earlier. This is just a little projection light that allows you to pinpoint a specific area of light. Now this is a projection light with a lens in it which allows me to focus the light or defocus it, so I've softened it slightly. And it's got what's called gobos, which are little adjusters which allow me to reduce the size or the box of the light to a specific size that I choose. Now you could use a snoot, you could use something a little bit more simpler, a little bit more cost efficient, but this is particularly useful for product photography work, for highlighting little details and labels. You'll also notice now that the illumination through the liquid has completely disappeared because Fabian's taken away our main lighting, which was hitting the reflectors behind the liquids and bouncing through them. So now that main lighting is gone, we've lost that effect. Now we've got the tracing paper attached to a big C-stand with a big rod going over the top for that roll to hang from. We're going to take that out as well to start with, but at the moment we've got this attached, which is just a shield to stop the lights hitting the back, just a piece of card. I'm going to take that out as well. We'll put that back in a minute. So what I want to demonstrate, actually we won't take this out, we'll just spin this just to make it a little bit easier. So I'm just going to spin that out of the way. Does that get clear past that light? Because what I want you to see is how nasty the light would be if we weren't using the trace. So Fab, if I can get you to take that softbox and put it in to, yeah, around about here, just so you can see. Now look at the lighting on that label, or on the bottle. So it just might, filter gels had fallen off on the back here. If you look at the lighting on the bottle now, you'll see we've got this harsh, horrible block of light. And this is a common mistake made when people try to illuminate glassware or bottles, is using this very defined rectangular light that doesn't gradate away. And that's the reason for the tracing paper is to create a gradation of light. So we definitely don't want that. That demonstrates that we need the tracing paper to give the effect that I want to achieve on this bottle. So let's take that light out, Fab. Now we'll put the tracing paper back in. So it's just a roll of tracing paper that we've doubled up. Just going to spin that back into position. And if we look at the bottle, as Fabian now introduces the backlight into position, watch what happens to the bottle. Stop there, Fab. So you've got a lovely soft light already starting to create there, but this light is to create an edge light on the bottle so that we just get a nice light down one edge of the bottle to separate it from the background. So if you push it into position now, please, Fabian, you'll see that light become a little bit stronger and create a lovely line down the edge of our bottle. And what I want you to do now, Fabian, is to just flick that light on and off a second so they can see the effect of it. That's it, back on again. And now just pull it out further away so they can see the shape of the light change based on the distance. There you go, so you can see that light enlarging. And then slide the light over towards this direction so you can see how it will wrap around the bottle and light the bottle differently on each time. So we're going to put that light back into its correct position, and that will give us the edge light. Now the problem that we've got from that light at the moment is that we will get some of that light spilling onto our background, because that light, I can see that light here, and a lot of that light is going to come and hit my dark grey background, which is going to ruin the shot, because I want to just control the light on the background with this background light here. So that's why we bring in the card. So this black card is going to attach to our C-stand to create what we call a flag to stop any light from getting through onto our background, which we certainly don't want. And that basically is it, just attaching a piece of card to act as a shield to stop the light coming through onto the background. Then, moving on from that, we're going to bring the main light in now. So this is the main fill light on the bottle, and you can see that lovely extra light that's just come in on the bottle there now. And if you push that light in really close, Fabian, you can watch it change quite dramatically, the harshness of the light as it comes through the trace. You can still see it's got that lovely soft diffusion from the trace, but it has become harsher as it's got closer to the trace. This time take it right back, please, Fabian. And there you go, you see it change again, and then bring it back into its correct position. So that's the positioning on my lights, the key lights for the bottle. You've seen the light for the label. And then my final light is this light that is on the background. So I've just got a glow of light running over the background here. And this glow of light, we can attach different gels onto it. So I've just got a couple of neutral density gels, but if you wanted to change the glow of light on the background to be an orange or a red, just attach one of those gels over the light. It's as simple as that. In this instance, I'm going to stick with the ordinary grey background with a glow of light radiating up and then graduating out to a dark grey. Now, the other key elements are these reflectors. These two reflectors, we've got a couple of reflectors behind the bottles, okay? And what you need to see is how they affect the shot. So hopefully through camera now, you will be able to see, as I turn these, you'll be able to see how they are affecting the light coming through the liquids. So you have to be quite careful with these, quite specific, to cut them to the right size to suit the bottle, to suit the shape, so that you don't see them behind the bottle. And that's the key point, is so that they reflect the light through the bottle, but you don't see them behind the bottle. So you do spend a little bit of time cutting these out and figuring the shape correctly. And then you're basically bouncing light from your main light source into that reflector through the liquid to create the lovely glow through the liquid. Now, I'm not sure if I've got that correctly positioned. You'll notice we've got one other little bit of reflector card taped to the back of the bottle, and that's because I needed to get the light through the neck of the bottle just right, and this reflector wasn't doing it quite rightly, so we just attached another reflector on the back of it. And that's about it. The rest of it is down to the positioning of your liquids, where your horizon line is, and then your depth of field. I've got the camera almost ready in position, which I'm then going to shoot the shot, and we're ready to go. One other point to mention is this side of the bottle does not have any light on it, because we've got no light source coming from this side, only the two main lights from there. So just to catch a little bit of an edge light, I will take an additional shot with this reflector card in, just to pick up a little bit of light down the neck of the bottle, and then I'll use that image to comp into the main shot to finish it off, because the camera's not moving, the product's not moving, so it's going to be very simple just to take that additional shot to comp that in. Now, ideally, I'd love to take the shot all in one go, but I would have to position this card quite a way out of shot, because I'm taking this shot in a landscape version, and in doing so, it would be too far away to give enough illumination. So I'm going to have to do this just as a two-shot setup. So one shot will be there, then the main shot, and the two will be joined together. So it just needs to slide over towards the tracing paper, please. That's it, perfect. There you go. So now it's hidden. The one behind the glass, I think, needs to slide a little bit more as well. And back a bit towards you just to hide it. Sorry, keep going, keep going, keep going. And just rotate it a little bit. Yeah, there we go, that should do it. We've got a nice glint through there. And then if you can turn the background light on again, and that creates our background light over our horizon. And that's basically it. So yes, if you had to start from scratch setting this up, it's a little bit more complex, does take a bit of time, but you can see in actual fact, this isn't magic, you know, this is just basically physics, science, mixed with a bit of art. And by overcoming the problems of lighting by creative solutions, you can achieve great results. And that's what our training really offers, is we go very in depth, showing you exactly how to achieve these type of shots and far more complex pictures. So I'm going to get started taking this shot. You can see the result, and hopefully that's given you a good insight into what Karl Taylor photography can do for you. Okay, that's great, thank you.